We made a deal to tell this story, and we're telling this story.
The Last of Us was plagued by complaints of bad casting, and The Last of Us 2 is not faring much.
Like most people, I liked the first season. I thought they did a great job. Season 2, I was skeptical on them not recasting Ellie and keeping Bella Ramsey as Ellie because it's supposed to take place 5 years in the future, but obviously Bella Ramsey in real life was not going to age that much in the 2 years it took between seasons.
I'm in a very unique position because it's my second go at this story. But I've just now lived in this world for so long.
Creator of the show is finally speaking out about its failure. The Last of Us creator Craig Mazin admits Season 2 was a fake finale, drew over 50% less than the finale of Season 1. You lost half of your audience.
Bella Ramsey was once the untouchable star of a generation, captivating audiences with her raw and fearless portrayal of Ellie in HBO's groundbreaking series, The Last of Us. Her performance was not just a role. It was a phenomenon that drew tears, accolades, and headlines, establishing her as a breakout talent in the entertainment industry. Fans rallied behind her, celebrating her authenticity and depth, and for a time, it seemed like she was destined for greatness. But in a shocking twist, the narrative surrounding Bella took a dramatic turn. Suddenly, she was no longer the face of Ellie. Instead, whispers of a recast began to circulate, leaving fans and insiders alike questioning the future of the beloved character. What happened to the actress who had become synonymous with Ellie? How did a star so bright become overshadowed, seemingly erased from the very project that had launched her into the spotlight? The answers lie in a tangled web of decisions, controversies, and a new direction that would change everything. As anticipation built for The Last of Us Season 2, fans were eager to see how Ellie would evolve. However, the creative team made a baffling decision. They portrayed Ellie as lacking intelligence, even having her explicitly state that she was stupid. This characterization felt like a betrayal to those who had come to love the complex, resilient young woman Bella had brought to life. Viewers were left scratching their heads, wondering how the character they had connected with could be reduced to such a simplistic portrayal. The essence of Ellie, a character defined by her strength and resourcefulness, seemed to be lost in translation. This shift not only confused fans, but also raised questions about the direction of the series. How could a character who had faced unimaginable challenges suddenly be depicted as naive and foolish? The dissonance between Bella's powerful performance and the new narrative left many feeling unsettled, setting the stage for the turmoil that was to follow. Amidst the confusion, rumors began to swirl about a potential recasting of Ellie. Enter Rachel Zegler, the rising star known for her role in West Side Story. Insiders whispered that she had been quietly handed the role of Ellie, a decision made behind closed doors and away from the public eye. This revelation sent shockwaves through the fan community, who were still grappling with the implications of the character's new portrayal. How could HBO make such a significant change without any warning? The secrecy surrounding the recasting process only fueled speculation and distrust among fans, who felt blindsided by the news. Bella, who had been actively engaging with her fans and discussing her future in the series, was left in the dark, unaware that her time as Ellie was coming to an abrupt end. While Bella continued to express her excitement about returning for The Last of Us Part 3, HBO executives were already conducting private readings and closed-door meetings to discuss the future of the series. Bella believed she was still part of the journey, sharing fan art and answering questions as if she were still the face of the franchise. However, behind the scenes, the atmosphere was tense. Executives were grappling with the backlash from the previous season and the growing dissatisfaction among fans. The pressure to make a change was mounting, and the decision to recast Ellie was not taken lightly. It was a calculated move, one that aimed to shift the narrative and regain the trust of a divided fanbase. The backlash against Bella's portrayal of Ellie was swift and unforgiving. Following the release of The Last of Us Part 2, the fanbase became polarized, with many expressing their discontent through social media. Hashtags like #NotMyEllie trended daily, and entire Reddit threads dissected every aspect of Bella's performance. While some praised her bravery in taking on such a challenging role, others labeled her a miscast, blaming her for the divisive narrative choices. Caught in the crossfire, Bella became the face of the controversy, enduring a wave of criticism that seemed to overshadow her talent. HBO felt the heat, and the internal conversations about her future grew more urgent as the online backlash intensified. As the production of Season 2 progressed, tensions began to rise on set. Bella, known for her passionate and uncompromising approach to her craft, reportedly found herself at odds with the creative team. What started as spirited discussions about character development escalated into full-blown disagreements. Insiders revealed that Bella frequently challenged rewrites and pushed back on decisions that she felt compromised the integrity of her character. While some viewed her determination as a sign of artistic integrity, others saw it as a production nightmare. The creative team found themselves walking on eggshells, trying to balance Bella's vision with the demands of the show. As the pressure mounted, the question lingered in the air. Could Bella continue to embody Ellie, or was it time for a change? In early 2025, a pivotal meeting took place behind closed doors at HBO. Top executives, showrunners, and Neil Druckmann gathered to discuss the future of The Last of Us. After months of halted development and creative deadlocks, the verdict was swift. They would not continue with Bella Ramsey as Ellie. Instead, they decided to reboot the franchise entirely, seeking a fresh start that would allow them to redefine the character and the story. Rachel Zegler emerged as the new face of Ellie, chosen for her ability to embody a darker, more emotionally complex version of the character. The decision was clinical and cold, executed without the courtesy of a farewell or acknowledgement of Bella's contributions. As the recasting unfolded, Bella's presence began to fade from the promotional materials and internal documents at HBO. Her name was quietly removed from character outlines, and even storyboards that once featured her likeness were redrawn. The lack of a proper send-off was striking. There were no public statements, no heartfelt tributes, just a clean break as if Bella had never existed in that world at all. Insiders reported that even her agent was blindsided by the news, learning about the recast only after Rachel Zegler had already signed a confidential agreement. This erasure felt not just like a professional pivot but a personal betrayal, leaving Bella with no closure or acknowledgement of her hard work and dedication to the role. As Bella's star dimmed, Rachel Zegler's began to rise. Initially, the whispers about her involvement were just that, whispers. But soon, they transformed into a full-blown movement. Fans began creating viral TikToks showcasing Rachel delivering iconic lines from The Last of Us games, drawing comparisons between her performances in West Side Story and the emotional depth required for Ellie. The resemblance was uncanny, and the excitement around her casting grew. Fan edits flooded social media, and the hashtag Rachel Zegler's the new Ellie began trending. HBO, sensing the shift in public sentiment, did not deny the rumors. Internally, Zegler's name was already tied to concept decks for the reboot, and leaked artwork hinted at a new, darker version of Ellie, one that was older, scarred, and emotionally wrecked. The internet, once obsessed with Bella's casting, had moved on, and they were not just accepting Rachel, they were demanding her. As Rachel's star ascended, Bella Ramsey's began to fade from Hollywood's radar. Once celebrated as a breakout talent, she now found herself quietly slipping off casting shortlists across the industry. Directors who had once praised her range began to label her as risky, and studio executives referred to her as PR heavy. When Bella's team pitched a new limited series to a top-tier streamer earlier this year, the rejection came with a cold phrase that said it all: "We're looking for quieter headlines." This was a clear signal that the industry was distancing itself from her, a stark contrast to the support she had once enjoyed. Even Neil Druckmann, who had stood by her during the fan wars and Backlash, seemed to have vanished from her corner. There were no comments, no closure, no grace. The same people who had fought to cast her now chose silence, leaving Bella to navigate the fallout alone. Bella Ramsey's journey from breakout, star to being erased from the very project that launched her career, is a cautionary tale about the fickle nature of fame in Hollywood. Once hailed as the fearless face of a generation, she now finds herself in a silent struggle for relevance, overshadowed by the very character she brought to life. The industry that once celebrated her talent has turned its back, leaving her to grapple with the consequences of a decision made behind closed doors. As Rachel Zegler steps into the role of Ellie, the question remains: can Bella reclaim her voice and find a way back into the spotlight, or will she remain a digital ghost, a reminder of how quickly the tides can turn in the world of entertainment. The story of Bella Ramsey serves as a poignant reminder that in Hollywood, the line between stardom and obscurity can be razor thin, and the journey to reclaim one's narrative is often fraught with challenges.